Welcome back, everybody. Going into hour number 2 of romantic fistfights in the rain. Rex, you are face to face with your ex-girlfriend, Thuja Mayhem, fearless Agaran Huntress. It is your turn. What are you gonna
do? Rex, he kind of he jumps back a little bit and he kind of just throws his arms up and he's like, Mayhem, I've been meaning to call you actually. And then he in an attempt to catch her off guard, just cuts his sentence short and just throws a punch.
Okay. All right. So just as a question, I'm not going to compel this, but I'm curious.
Right.
Is this kind of horseplay regular for the two of you? Is this a thing?
It might be.
Yeah. Because I think what's happening here is you're like, oh, now you know why you recognize that biofield and the heartbeat, and you're like, different context for that feeling. But similar jam.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is is this I guess how flirty are you being when you're trying to punch her in the face?
Pretty flirty.
Yeah.
He's got the warm smile on, you know. He looks relaxed to begin with. He's like, I've been meaning to.
So I guess the question is, Quinn and Aurora, do they? And this is a question you can answer, and we can all talk about it together. But do Quinn and Aurora notice that the tenor of this battle has changed?
I think that Aurora's still looking at her little pit boy, and she's like, she has the armor now pulled up, and she's scanning through the armor, so she's just so into whatever she's about to do, if anything, and so she hasn't noticed anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have maybe her bio signature, and her heart rate is going up and stuff, but you're so focused on that. But yeah, Quinn, do you notice at all? They obviously you can hear them talk, but
Quinn may not be a smart man, but he knows what love is, and on his homeworld, mating is violent, and he understands everything about it, and straight up goes from a posture of ready to murder to he just drops his arm and tilts his head to the side you've got to be shitting me.
All right. Okay. So this becomes an entirely different fight. Rex, what are you trying to accomplish now? Before you're trying to fight her off, but now what's the fight about now?
Love is a battlefield. To entice her to listen to what he's saying and kind of drop her guard somewhat before he attacks.
So I guess my question is the attack, right? The fight before was mysterious stranger trying to beat you up and take your scepter. Now you know who it is. And there's definitely still some chemistry there, right? Y'all played it like this before. She's mad at you and you're fighting, but it's a different thing. So you can, if you want to, use that to your advantage and still just go for the I'm beating you up and you should probably run away or whatever. Or you can be cool, let's fight it out and diffuse the tension elsewise.
Yo.
Does this end in the two of you making out, or does it end in her fleeing or someone is it a fight or is it something else now?
I mean, Rex, if he can talk her down to the makeout level, he probably would. Okay.
Yeah. I think she's gonna. If that's your intent, and you're willing to compel the aspect, I'll take the fate point, and we'll end the fight there. In that, I think you can narrate the details because she's gonna give, but I think the compromise here is that your sudden appearance and the tension of the moment. The two of you get caught up in a flurry of passion, and we kind of fade away from that as the two of you fall into the rain and into the slightly electrified water and just start making out. And then we pan over to Quinn and Aurora.
As they're doing that, can I activate the thing and disable her armor to where it falls off?
Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay.
So Aurora just sitting here, she wouldn't pick up on love vibes anyway. She's a robot, remember? So she's just sitting there and then she disables the armor and it falls off of her.
Well, yeah, I don't think it even falls off. It's just so here's the scene, and it's totally melodramatic and intense. But so Rex, you leap at her and punch her a couple of times, and she hits you with a baton. The two of you are tangling, and then you manage to grab her and slam her against the neon sign. It flickers, and there's a dramatic moment where you're
we're super close, and then Rex is this is kind of familiar, don't you think?
Yeah. And she takes a deep breath, and as she exhales, her armor unfolds like a flower of darkness, and that like the plates all just kind of like separate and come apart. And now it's just like it's like Pokket. It's like your
she like drops the baton, and then she like slaps Rek across the face, but then immediately like grabs his face and just starts making out.
She slaps you hard enough that your mask comes off.
The mask comes off, yeah. And then she just grabs his face.
And then she grabs the back of your head. And as Aurora disables she resets the armor into like evening wear mode. And it's kind of like, it doesn't all fall off. She's not naked, but it reconfigures itself into a much sexier mode. And the two of you just start making out against this.
Quinn reaches over and covers up Aurora's eyes.
But you look up like, I did it. Oh.
Yeah, I'm just like.
It's just like darkness, and she's like, "Wait, what's going on?"
Don't watch. Oh my god, awesome! All right, so we fade to black on that scene, and we come back on. I think everybody, like Eugene, you've been recovered. You're not back at your ship yet because there's still stuff going on, but you're sitting around a table in like a dingy looking like hotel room maybe, and there's a window, light coming through the window from outside. Occasionally like a police vehicle will go by, so we get the flashing lights. Leaned up against the windowsill is a long black kind of ornate looking sniper rifle, and there's other bits and pieces of weaponry. Like on a table there's a bunch of knives like laid out, and her armor has gone back into casual, mostly covering herself up mode, but she doesn't have her helmet on. And she's sitting on the bed. Where's everybody else in the room? You're in her hotel room essentially.
I'm next to Quinn, and as they're like whatever, like in the beginning I lean in, I'm like, so why was Rex trying to eat her?
And I just sort of look over. I'm like, love, kid, love.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, hold on. So I went from like fucking sitting there going, oh shit, okay, well they're gonna maybe die up there. I better make my way to the ship. And then like a few minutes later, like these bitches show up and they're like, just kidding, we're good. Scoop up my slimy body, and then now we're in a hotel somewhere where they don't care that our pictures are everywhere? Is that the situation?
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, Eugene,
So
it's a
fucking
long
confused.
story.
Y'all better start talking.
I saw a lot. I learned a lot about the birds and the bees today. Okay, Eugene.
The sharks and the warriors.
Rex and Mayhem are like good now. They've got out their system, so now it's just a conversation happening. And Rex is kind of like, "You care to explain why you're after us?"
Yeah, so she's kind of like looking out the window. She has her arms folded, and her hair is still. She had her hair up in a kind of like cluster of like black like locks before, but it's like out of place. There's one just like kind of hanging in front of her face, and she like brushes it away annoyedly and like looks out the window, and she's got her arms folded in front of her, and she's kind of like. You can see she's kind of struggling with what just happened, but yeah, like the tension has been diffused. She's not in fight mode anymore. And she says, look, if I knew it was you, I would have started with talking.
Come on, baby. There's only one me. I'm all over the TV.
She turns and looks at you. She's like, I just got here. They said that and she looks at Quinn. She's like, some filthy jackers had the scepter, and listen, I need to get it back. And she starts walking towards Quinn, where you are, walking across the room.
What? What do you mean, get it back?
She looks at you. She's like kind of ignoring Rex. Like she brushes you off, like stop touching me, and is like making eye contact, I guess, up here with you, Quinn, because she's not that tall. And she says, you don't understand, but that scepter is very important.
Well, it's very important to us too, sweetheart. It's like it's worth quite a bit of change, so you're gonna have to give us a little bit of an explanation, otherwise it's gonna get messy again in here. I heard it got messy. How messy are we talking? Did it get real messy?
I
It seemed like it lasted long.
and I'm like, Rex tried to eat her. Even though they were making out, and Aurora doesn't understand that.
Sure, yeah, that's what he was trying to devour her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. humans and their disgusting romantic habits.
You'll never understand this.
No, it doesn't make sense. They interface in the most obvious ways. So yeah, you say that, Eugene, and she looks over at you and she like sneers and she's like, if money's all you want, we can get you paid, but
Great.
and she like puts her hand out. She's like, I need that scepter and I need it now.
We need the money first. 'Cause this is not the way that we discuss this kind of a thing here.
I'll tell you what we do need. Passage off this fucking planet because we just been framed for killing the prince.
Ah.
And
Yeah.
and
Maybe we can work something out. Rex like looks her up and down.
She looks over at you and she's like, yeah, you're gonna have to do better than that.
Oh, worth a shot. Rex just kind of looks out the window.
I like splat part of myself against him, like, oh, you got told, buddy.
She says, but I do have a ship, and it is big enough for everyone. Maybe I can help you get off this planet. There's guards everywhere, and you're not going to be able to do it on your own. I mean, no offense. I'm sure you're all tough and everything, but based on the way that this one was acting and looks at you, Eugene, like nods her head, you'll never make it past the Imperial blockade.
Whoa.
Not in a million years.
I'll have you know that my grandma impression kills.
She does not acknowledge that remark.
No one in the room acknowledges it.
Yeah, everyone's stone cold.
except for Aurora, who's just still just smiling and looking back and forth between like everyone, especially the lady and Rex. Just like, I don't know what's going on, but this is great.
It's fine. Feeling's a little hurt, but I guess I'll get over it.
How you feeling, big guy?
We have our own ship. We don't need yours.
She scoffs. She's like, that junker in the yard, you won't make it 12 parsecs in that thing.
Hang on, that's a nice ship. Last time I remember your quarters, they weren't exactly delightful. All right.
She
Mayhem.
she laughs and she says, "You never liked me for my cleanliness. Listen, it's not the old days anymore, Rex. I work on my own now."
Oh, well, it sounds like you're working for someone.
She takes a step towards you, and everyone, you can feel the room getting like more tense. Like she takes a hard step towards you, Rex, and she's like, "Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe it's none of your business."
Oh, it's none of my business. You can fuck off, and we'll head our way with the scepter.
I'm not going anywhere without that scepter. And now they're like face to face again, and she's snarling and like.
And I pick up my Pit Boy and I start messing with her armor again and turn it back into like sexy armor mode. Like.
So you go to like press a button and she turns and like looks right at you, and she's the first time she's even like acknowledged you're there, and she's like, "Don't you dare!"
And like a cat or a little kid, I like my butt, like my finger gets closer.
Yeah,
She'll do it. She'll touch that thing. She'll do it. What does it do? What happened?
So she turns back to the two of you are like off to the side. So Eugene, you ask that to them, but she turns her attention back to Rex, and I think Rex, you can see that like, I don't know, maybe if you want, you can try to get a read on her if you care at all what she's feeling, but she's acting funny. Like she's normally a pretty straightforward person, right? Like you can usually predict how she's going to act, but she's like getting to the edge of where she should be getting violent again, but isn't. She's holding back for some reason.
Let's do it.
Okay, yeah. Let's try to have you make a roll to overcome. You're gonna try to overcome her emotional defenses.
Knowing that she's a straight shooter typically, Rex is gonna.
Yeah, go ahead and roll, and you're gonna roll. I think in this case it's careful because you're just making an observation. You're trying to figure out what she's
My
feeling.
careful's a hard 0, which is probably why
Sure
we broke
is.
up in the first place.
Difficulty. Oh, all right. Difficulties 2. So you're fine. Yeah, I think the thing is that someone has given her orders to behave, like to try to behave herself, right? Like that she's supposed to like rein it in. Because like, maybe you could take her, but she could kill any one of the other people in your group. No problem. Like you're sure of that, but maybe you could take her, but like And she's mean. She's like, she should have poisoned somebody by now, or like, you know, she's not a hero like you. She's the bad seed from your past, right? Like there's a world, and there's an alternate reality where the two of you went on like a Bonnie and Clyde murder spree, but this is not that world. You took a more heroic path, and she always brought up that ferocious hunger in you, but you managed to step away, right? But she's got that darkness.
So
and
I think
she's
Rex
acting
kind of
different.
leans in
Yeah.
and like just barely loud enough that I don't even know if the rest of the group can hear it, but he kind of leans in and he's like, "Who's got you on a leash?"
And she looks at you, and she says, shakes her head, and she says, "It doesn't matter. It does. It super matters." But she says that it doesn't. Just shakes her head. And it's like, "It doesn't matter." And she turns away from you. And I don't think you've ever seen her back down from being all like
A confrontation.
the two of you should be on the floor again. But she just turns away from you.
Okay. Well, I kind of at her turning around, I'm just like, well, this Jacker group is a democracy, so you're gonna have to convince everyone in the room why we should take your ship and not our ship.
She looks at you, Quinn, and she says, you have all the markings of a Jacker hacker. You know how this goes. I don't know. She can tell. You can tell. It's a thing. No one knows what it is, but she sees you. You've got the stuff, Jacker hacker.
We just have to buy into this, guys. Just buy into the fact.
You're right. This is the truth. This is where we are. This is the world we live in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is happening. So there's something about you, and she can see it. She can smell the Jacker hacker all over you, and she's like, you know how this is gonna go. The Imperium's got your ship locked down already. There's all kinds of tracking devices on it.
Then you know, as a Jacker hacker, I can get rid of every single one of those.
She nods and she says, there might be a chance. And she looks over at Rex and she's like, if we can get your hacker friend in touch with the trackers, then you might be able to hack them. And I totally didn't even mean to do that.
I don't think you can hack the trackers. It's just Jacker hacker trackers are not a thing that we can do.
What?
Don't be such a slacker.
It's very difficult. I don't think that's possible.
She says it's that, or you leave your ship behind. The Imperium's going to follow you if you take off as you are now, and that's only going to lead you to worse trouble. And where are you going to go?
I think you had an idea, didn't you, big guy?
There's someone we need to see back on my home planet.
She looks at you and says quietly, like, Serpentis?
And Quinn just nods.
Yeah.
Quinn just goes, the 12th.
She scowls and she's like, but it's a hell world. No one goes there.
It's a hell world? I don't want to go now. What?
What's hell?
That hell world's my home, lady.
And she looks at you and she says, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure you're tough, but if the council, or what's left of them, if they ever found out about the scepter, they'd take it from you for sure.
They've been looking for me for a long time. I'm not worried.
She shakes her head and she says, well, if you're not going to give me the scepter, there's no way I'm leaving. I'm going with you.
Rex lets out like an uncomfortable groan and kind of just like gets up and looks out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about these trackers. Is there a way to cracker these Jacker hacker trackers?
She shakes her head. She says, the Imperium has all the best technology, especially after they pillaged it from us in the war. There's no knowing. The ship might explode as soon as you turn it on. It depends. I mean, you say you were framed, but... And she looks at you, Rex, and she says, be honest with me. Did you kill Navarius? I can't help you if you won't be honest.
I mean, I ate him, but I didn't kill him.
We didn't kill him. We didn't kill him. He did eat him, though. Yes, that is a fact.
It was already
Yeah, she blinks hard when you say that. And she's like, you what?
Well, we were framed. I couldn't let them find the body. So, I did my thing
I mean,
that you know about. Because you've been there when I've done it before.
That's a kind of makes a kind of sense, but you've never eaten a member of the Imperium before, have you?
No, of course I have, but he was delicious.
She kind of sneers. She's like, one thing at a time. You're gonna need to see a doctor, but we got to get out of here first. And she
I'm fine. I don't. What are you worried about?
She turns back to you, Quinn. Yeah.
Yeah, Quinn quizzically looks at her and asks if you don't believe we've been framed. How is it they could have possibly sabotaged our ship or hacked our ship well before we arrived back at it? Because as a jacker hacker, I know that takes time.
She nods and she says, I just needed to hear it from him. We've done some bad things together. Assassinating the High Prince, I could see it. But if you say you didn't kill him, it makes sense.
Rex kind of like shrugs in agreement, like, yeah, I've done some fucked up shit. He's like agreeing.
And you just see Aurora there, this is like a soap opera to her. Like she's just taking it in, and as she's like listening, she
like tissues, like
yeah, she accidentally presses the button because she wasn't paying attention, and then the armor changes, and she's like, oh.
Yeah, I think it starts to change, and she like twists a dial on her arm and like looks at you like.
And then I go, oh.
Yeah. So yeah, she turns back to you, Quinn, and says, listen, I need the scepter. It doesn't sound like you're willing to give it up, but if I can help you get off this planet, wherever you're going, we need to have that conversation again. My patrons are eager to get their hands on it. And you hear, Rex, like a quiver in her voice, like maybe she's in trouble or something. And then she says, but first things first, that ship, you're going to have to either leave it or outsmart the Imperium. And I'm not saying you're not smart, Lizard Man, but it's going to be a tough task.
If you can get us to my home world, I think we can have a bargain.
She nods.
But all my dials and all my... I'm gonna have to buy all that shit again.
We'll come back for this shit, all right?
Quinn looks over at you and he's like, my jars. Oh, we're getting our ship back.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
buddy.
all
I'll
your
hold
jars
you
are-
to that. Because I know you love those jars.
I do, very much.
All right. So she comes over to the table where all of her stuff is, and she picks up a sort of black disc, and she twists it and holds it out, and you see a little hologram appear of a kind of vaguely insectoid-looking matte black ship. It's an Agaran ship, and she says, "This is my ship. It's got some limited cloaking ability. It should be able to get us out of here, but we have to get to where it's stored, and with them on high guard, God, if they saw me with you, well, it's going to be tricky." And she brings up, I think she turns it again, and it brings up a 3-dimensional map of the station, and there's a little red dot like flashing, and you can see that it's in the like the garbage disposal system of the station. So she's parked it outside, and she came up through like waste disposal to get in. So it's hidden. They probably don't know the ship is there, but she says it's going to be a bit of a trek. And she looks over it. She looks specifically at Aurora, and she's like, "You think you're up for this?"
I look around. I'm just like, well, yeah.
Like,
Duh.
of course.
And she's very clearly like, I'm a robot. I don't know why are you looking at me? These people? No, they're the humanoids and the people that have to worry about. No, I'm a robot. I'm good. As Sparky does his like distorted bark again. Yeah.
Rex kind of walks past or like towards the door, and he's like, she doesn't complain much.
Okay. All right. So Thuja grabs up her stuff, she gathers her equipment, and starts getting ready to go. Is there anything that you want to do, any of you, before you head off to try to get to her ship?
Just as a reminder thing to the cast and everyone watching, Quinn opens up his thermos, his strawberry shortcake thermos, and looks down in, and the camera pans in to reveal the cigarette with the lipstick that we found, and I still have. So
yeah.
Watch out for that. It could be a thing.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's true. You haven't had it analyzed or anything. Yeah, good reminder. So we see that, and you like check on it, tighten the lid, and put your thermos back in your pants, I guess.
Right back in, right next to the scepter. Don't question any of it.
No,
a lot of weird bulges down there. Doesn't matter.
Strange things going on. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd
All
say
right.
they set off. Aurora kind of like holds up the end, like she's at the end, walking slowly with Sparky, who's like I think it was his leg or something that got busted, so he's like limping or whatever. So she's making sure she stays with him, but she also is like the whole time just fiddling with something on her Pip-Boy. It would seem like she's either like talking to someone or doing something like that, but clearly it just looks like she's lagging behind everybody. So
yeah, cool. Okay. All right. So you leave the dingy hotel where she's been holed up, and slip out the back into the streets of the station. And I think, unlike before when you first got here, when we got our first initial shot of it, there's sort of this cosmopolitan crowd of all different kinds of aliens. People have mostly kind of cleared the streets. We see you in the entrance to an alley, and there are Imperium like guards kind of like patrolling the area. We see like one of their silver drones kind of fly overhead, and there are checkpoints and cordons, people clustered around these sort of concrete barriers with a like laser wall blocking off the main streets, and they're checking people's documentation. And the whole tenor of the place has changed. It had a kind of like Tangier's vibe before, but now it's all very like locked down, and people seem like frightened of the sudden Imperium presence here. So yeah, how are you going to get there? What's your approach, right? Like she tells you where the ship is, but things have changed, right? It's gotten busy, and now she's with these fugitives. What's the plan to get to the there's an entrance to the waste facility that she's parked near. How do you want to get there?
we all disguise ourselves as grandmas.
It
That
worked
is-
before.
Oh shit!
That is an approach.
Let's
an approach
do
you could
that.
take.
Yes, that is absolutely in my wheelhouse.
And then Eugene is clearly the
Super into this idea.
We're a knitting club, and we're going
Yes.
to a planet that is having a special on knitting,
Yes.
and we got
Yes.
it here.
A special
Yes.
on the concept of knitting. A special on knitting.
They're having a knit-a-thon.
Yeah, it's where the KnitCon happens.
Yeah,
KnitCon?
KnitCon. We are going to KnitCon for the knit-a-thon.
Great.
So you're going to invent an imaginary convention.
Nope.
Yep.
I want no part of this.
Yes.
Nope. Why don't we just listen to this badass, fearless Garan huntress who probably knows the way back to her ship, instead of being like, we're all grandmas. I'm a giant lizard man. You don't make me a grandma.
Then.
We don't have
I
grandma.
bet if I had a couple minutes, couple days, if I had a little bit, I could make you look like a grandma
Nope.
I
don't
have
think
faith.
so.
in my abilities. But for now, sure, we'll follow the lady. She seems
But
like she
later,
knows what she's
maybe
doing.
this is a good idea. We could do KnitCon. We should do this later.
We should
we-
throw KnitCon.
We
The
should
perfect alias.
like we're getting really into.
We should put on KnitCon. Like, we are the founders of KnitCon. Yes. That's,
Yes.
Yep. None of you know how to knit, but that's fine.
Yep. We'll start up our new website. List us all as guests. It's gonna be great.
Oh, dear.
It'll
Good.
work.
Good. We'll put that one up on the shelf for later. We can take it down when there's less bad things going on.
Mhm.
All right. So I mean, yeah, Quinn, if you wanna invite Thuja to take the lead, you can. Her approach is going to be like staying hidden, moving from shadow to shadow, trying to like climb the roof, like basically just avoiding where there are Imperial guards.
Oh my god. Just because I know that I have 0 sneaky, I totally and completely am like, yeah, lead on. I give her like the universal like after you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very cautious because she could also be leading us into a trap. So
I too
I'd
am sneaky.
yeah. I can't wait to see how ridiculously I fail at all this. I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if that's the plan, just trying to stay hidden. Let's have everybody roll. Let's have everybody roll their sneaky.
Yeah.
The difficulty's an overcome. Difficulty's gonna be 4. So good. Minus 1. Not. Boy, you are all terrible.
Oh, fuck.
Wow. Wow. Just not a 1. Not a 1 of you.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see how she does. I guess.
I like to think she like goes forward and does like a really cool flip and like runs along a wall and like disappears, and we all try to do it and just crash and burn.
She's going from shadow.
We're trying to exactly
shadow.
mimic her, and we just fall and eat shit.
She's going from shadow to shadow, like jumping and twirling and like blending in with everything. And we try to do the same and just stumble all over each other and fall into the street.
Yeah, it's a perfect comedic beat too, because yeah, they would play, the scene would start with the kind of like sneaky music, right? Like obviously like this is a stealth moment, and like you see her lurking in the shadows and like wait for a patrol to pass and like run right behind them and they don't notice her. And then and then it cuts to the 4 of you, and you like run out and like crash into like a food cart, and it falls over, and there's space tacos everywhere, and yeah, just total chaos.
For some reason, there are panes of glass that all start falling as well. Yeah,
just like stumbling over one another. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, you definitely draw attention to yourselves, and I think that the ruckus that you caused by stumbling into this cart or whatever is attracted some attention from a pair of Imperial guards. So the guards of the Imperium, they look up, and one of them is like, "Hey, you!" and they start jogging over towards you.
I mean, this is gonna be like the John Belushi scene in Animal House, like where he just like, no, this is gonna be tragic.
Rex
I mean,
kind of turns to the group and he's like, "Guys, sneaky is not our thing."
I look down at Eugene and go, "Grandma's."
Yeah, I'm like, oh, and then I just like splat myself down amongst all of the food to make myself just look like refuse.
You look like a spill.
Yeah.
There's some green chili, and you just grab some jalapenos and put it on yourself and just lay there. Okay, sure. All right, let's have you make a sneaky roll for me, Eugene. Let's see if they notice that there's a slime amidst the tacos. Good. Do you wanna use any of your fate points there?
Wait, what's my? Am I doing it against them?
I'm gonna roll. You're basically setting up the number that I have to beat.
Can I find out what number I have to beat first?
Yeah, I can roll against them. So that's assuming that you all freeze. Like they see you, you could run, you could shoot them, you could do other things. We know Eugene is gonna hide, so they probably won't stop to look for you if somebody else runs and they have to give chase.
Well, I think as we're like getting discovered, you see Aurora. She's still typing away, really hurriedly at her. I'm just gonna keep calling it a pit boy because that's the easiest.
Sure, that's fine.
And she keeps typing away at it, and then she's not paying attention, so she just smack dab runs into a pole, and it makes a loud ping. That's why it's a -1. And then she falls down, and as someone says, "Hey," she starts to crawl behind the garbage. That's like the cans that are right there.
Yeah.
Trying to act like she didn't get discovered. Her face is beet red, but she's a robot. It's okay. She doesn't have emotions.
You want to try and hide in the garbage?
I'm gonna hide behind the garbage cans, I think. As they called us.
So same thing. Roll sneaky to try to like do that shit and dive into the trash. Okay, so it's a 2. All right. Quinn and Rex, what are you gonna do?
Rex just is stood in the street. He's face palming at like Eugene and Aurora, and he's just kind of like one hand on his hip, and he's just like waiting for these guys to approach. He's like, him and Quinn can't hide. Yeah. We're just gonna have to beat up these guards and just do this old school and like maybe run towards the ship because this is just a failure from day one. Like, Mayhem is gone. She didn't notice that they couldn't keep up. She's like hopped over a wall or something.
Definitely, yeah.
Just like, all right, okay.
So you want to wait until they come up to talk to you?
Yeah, I think literally Rex just like turns to Quinn and he's like, "You ready, big guy?"
Quinn immediately picks up a food cart and just chucks it at them.
I mean, that works.
Okay, all right. So you want to make an attack on the two of them with a food cart? Perfect.
Yes.
Do it. It's forceful or flashy, whichever you prefer.
All right, I'll pick the one that's bigger.
Okay,
I'm no dummy.
Perfect. I just lift up the cart and throw it, and there's some little like kind of furry like anthropomorphic rodentoid, someone who is selling these space tacos, who's just like, "Hey, my cart!" and you like throw it at them. Yeah, you got a 4. All right, so let's see if they can defend themselves. They're gonna try to dodge out of the way, and I think dodging is not one of their skills. Let's see. All right, so you beat them by 3, and the cart crashes into the two of them, and they're just like walking over, like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" And then they get smashed by this cart, and it buys you an opportunity to flee or like do something, but they're basically under a big pile of like broken cart and salsa now.
Rex just turns to the two hiding. He's like, "Come on, let's go," and then just starts like running up the street, basically.
Okay. So you take off. Eugene, Aurora, Quinn, you gonna run after him?
Quinn picks up one of the street tacos that is on the ground and takes a bite and then throws some credits or whatever the money is at the vendor, and he's like, "Thanks," and runs.
He grabs him and looks up at you as you dash off. Okay. Let's see if you can evade patrol. So this time you can roll quickly. You're all just trying to run. Difficulty to get away on foot, just like running away from this particular patrol. It's fine. You just need to beat a -1. They're way behind.
Okay, well, that should be easy, right?
Totally. It should be totally easy.
You see Aurora jump up and like look around, but then she just like takes off after Rex.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, that's 2. Good. Quinn and Eugene, can we get quick rolls from the two of you?
Sure.
Sorry, I was just hoping. Oh my god. What is happening right now?
It's perfect. You don't need any better than that. You're fine. So you flee. You just run for it. It's not the stealthy escape you're looking for, and certainly the level of tension has risen. You've been spotted, and they know that you're at large, and they have a general idea of where you're going. So I think that while you book it from these two, we get a shot of at a checkpoint. They're waving some people through, and one of the cops. These guys are wearing, just so we can get a clear mental image of them, everything that the Mingasi Imperium wear is like white and gold. So these like perfect, pristine, like white uniforms. They have basically gold helmets that are like a single plate of mirrored like gold. So you're always looking at your own reflection when you look at them, and they have like half capes, like gold half capes and rifles. And one of them in the checkpoint gets a notification on their terminal that you've been spotted, and he grabs a couple more, and they go and they kind of mobilize. So they're headed in your general direction, but you've managed to escape from them for now. You meet up with Thuja again at the entrance to the facility, the garbage processing facility, and she's nervously like waiting there for you when you arrive. So Rex, when you walk up, she says, she's like, What took you so long? Where did you go? And you're all kind of out of breath.
Yeah, he's like breathing heavily. He's like, not really the sneaky type, neither in my gang. So
can we
they're in
can
tow.
we stop the talking and just get in the ship? Jesus.
Okay, so she just like shakes her head and she's like, fine. You weren't followed, were you?
Oh no, we were.
Probably. Let's get in the ship, huh?
Time's are wasted. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So she leads you down into a series of tunnels that are all part of the waste processing facilities of this station. They're dark. mostly abandoned. And along one side of this maintenance corridor, there are these huge transparent pipes, and you can see various strangely colored fluids passing through them on their way to be processed. I think off to your right, there is a constantly churning kind of it's not liquid because it's mostly like solid, like scrap and stuff, but it's on a conveyor belt, and it's all kind of like churning and making this like gurgling noise as it gets pushed towards the recycling plant that the facility uses. And we can see like little bits of robot parts and fast food containers and bits of industrial refuse as they're getting shuttled down on the conveyor belt. Yeah, and I think she looks at you, Quinn, because you're probably the closest, and she says, "No offense, but I can move a lot faster on my own. You have coordinates for the ship. I'm going to run ahead and get her started."
Is there anyone? I mean, I would know this, right? Is there anyone on our team that would be really, really good at helping with that process? Like, can I suggest that Aurora, for example, is anyone quick enough, but also able to help with the process? That boy, do I not want her to go alone because this is a super trap. Is what
Eugene splits himself in half, and
Mhm.
half
You
goes
could
with her.
definitely send one of Eugene's
now
little
that is
blobs.
a plan.
Yeah, what about one of the little babies? One of
But
those babies goes
you
with her.
lose half of the alphabet.
Oh, Jesus, that's so impossible to manage. I think
No.
you could send a
Like-
little blob, but
Oh my god.
What letter do you lose this time?
Fuck. Sure.
I love
Eugene,
the
We need
Do the
someone to go
thing.
with her.
I start.
Okay.
James-
No, fine. I get it. Okay, fine. Yeah, sure. Fine. As I'm saying fine, I like rip part of myself off, and there's just a tiny little bit going, yee! just kind of squish it onto her body. So there's just like a little splat that's all smiling and excited.
Do you do this sneakily, or are we telling her this that we're gonna do this?
Yeah, that's a good question. She could like turn around and you could be like, "Yeah, we'll
I
see you
say
there,"
we
and then you could
sneak
just throw a little snot on her.
Just walks up and like pats her, like, "Good luck."
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what, doll? I think that this is going to be a beautiful friendship. Splat. And just
Blorp.
like leave part of myself on her.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's see if she notices. She might just wipe you off into the trash. So go roll sneaky, and I'll
Oh,
roll
me?
for her to notice.
Can I roll clever instead?
No, you're explicitly trying to be sneaky here. That's
Okay.
it's very much
Fuck.
the purpose.
Do you have any skills? Can you do anything?
She's rolling with careful to notice.
Can you?
And you roll first, and then you can.
I already did.
Yep. Okay. So you got a 1. She's got a 2. So if you
Well,
want to
you
send a point.
Can I use less?
can
less
use
is
a
more?
fate point.
Yeah. You want to invoke less is more.
I want to invoke less is more. Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna get some mileage out of this little slime, and yeah, I think you like splatter. I already took the point. It's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So when you invoke them, we just delete them. I don't get them. It's only if you compel where I get them.
Okay.
So yeah, you reach out a tendril and just like bloop, just slimer one, and
And the one that's left on there goes, "Ee!" And I go, shh.
quiet, tiny. All right. Well, let's go ahead and roll a d26, I guess.
I can't wait.
Wait, am I rolling it? Should I roll
Yeah.
it?
Go ahead. Yeah. /R 1d26.
11.
All right, the 11th letter of the alphabet.
E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Can I ask you
All
a
right.
question?
No K's.
Instead of E, because can they scream whatever letter it is that they leave you? So he goes, Key!
It's
Yeah,
like terrifying.
I mean, all it would have to do is for you to like splat it on there, and it's about to say something, and you're like, shh, and it's like, okay.
God.
Oh my god, you can't send passive aggressive text messages anymore. All right, cool. Yes, you've temporarily lost the ability to use the letter K, and you have a little slimer on her. So yeah, so she looks back at you. She casts one long meaningful glance at Rex, and then with a swoosh of her cape, her helmet comes back up over her face, and she runs off into the shadows. So yeah, down here in the dumps, you can start making your way to towards the ship. And I think that unless there's anything else you want to do, Eugene? You tell everybody else that you've got that going on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Duh.
So when we talked about it before, you can't immediately like you don't have a mental link with your little blobs, or do you? I can't remember.
I do. I know
Right.
everything that they've seen or heard.
And that's all the time, or when I can't remember how we figured this out, or is it when you like reconstitute with them?
I never reconstitute with them because eventually they just become their own small slime and just go off and live their life.
Got it. Okay.
But it's what was it? 30 minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
we
an
don't have to
hour.
worry about a specific. It's like probably like a scene or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
That's how
Has
the
this
slimes
always been a thing
reproduce.
you've done? Wait,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa,
you
whoa.
didn't know that?
But
Yeah.
didn't you reconstitute with yourself previously?
No.
No, the other one.
No,
The one
she just
just-
grew. She
The
just
other one
grew
was
that
in the
part
pipes,
back.
And then 30 minutes later, the connection was severed, and it was like, I'm gonna go live my life, and it just became a weird little.
You just had a baby
Slime.
on this woman's
And
back?
And that's how you have babies as a
Yeah.
slime.
Yeah.
That's baby.
They don't care. They're just leaving babies everywhere.
This is baby
My
Eugene on that
planet's
back.
a mess. Don't go there.
Now there's 2 baby Eugenes.
You're a terrible parent, is what you
Yeah,
are.
no, we cut to like we'll immediately have to do that. You're like, do you do this all the time? And then we cut to just the last one, the little E one, and he's just like sitting in a cafe drinking a coffee, and then a fucking like hawk flies down and picks him up and flies off.
Space Hawk.
Yeah, just grabs him and flies
it's
away.
metallic with like laser eyes. Like,
Totally, yeah, just flies in, scoops him up, he's gone. Like, yeah, the survival rate of these things is very low, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, so you're able to, for now at least, see through its sensory organs, and yeah. So let me know when you want to know what she's up to. But basically, the entire scene of her like going to her ship and getting it ready, you'll be able to perceive. And in the meantime, you're all moving through the kind of techno sewers towards the ship.
The techno sewers. Fuck.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's have somebody who's in the lead, who's leading the way, because it is quite like labyrinthine down here. Someone is going to have to be in charge, being like,
I
you know,
think
where to go.
maybe Aurora would have like sewer plans on a.
or lights. Something
yeah.
that she
I'd
could.
say Rex.
Well, the
No,
dog's got
no.
lights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sparky has his eyes, and they've turned into beams of light that like shine before us. So I'm walking behind him, still like tip tapping away. And I have now I'm not talking to anyone. I have like this grid of the sewer system showed up, but it's only like within the first like 10 meters, so I can only see directly in front of us.
Mm.
So
Yeah. It's like a little motion tracker too, so it's like pulsing.
Yeah. So basically, it's like the alien pulsar. You know,
Yeah, I'm
if
into
the
it.
aliens want to sneak up on us, I'll know.
The jackers are right on top of you.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's have you lead the party with careful. Make a careful roll.
I'm good at careful not.
Okay, you got 2. All right. So you're making your way through the sewers. The techno sewers, and you come around a corner. You're not lost or anything. You're just making your way out there, and I think that your device, like, it sends out a pulse, and you see that there is somebody or something like ahead of you. It's up around a corner, like at the next junction. You get enough of a drop on it that you can stop everybody and be like, wait, there's something up there.
I do that, and I hold it up, and I point to it, and it's pinging very quietly. And I mainly show it to Rex because he's the leader.
Rex is like
leader.
he like squints and what is it?
It's a thing. I think there's a thing up there. It's up there.
Oh! Watch out, guys! There's a thing.
It might be a person. It might be a rat. I don't know. It might be Eugene. We don't know anymore.
What?
Nothing. It's a thing.
Rude.
All right, well, what are you gonna do? You wanna sneak up on it?
You go.
Fine.
And I just sit back and watch him walk past me.
Okay. I guess yeah. I just gotta check it out.
You're just gonna stride out there. Okay.
If we're in the sewers, that means we're in water, right? Yeah.
No,
Ro-
there isn't actually any water. All of the fluids are carried in these big pipes that are above and to the side of you, and then there's a conveyor belt full of junk that's just like constantly moving next to you.
Okay. That's gross.
Yeah, you don't want to break one of those pipes and get goop everywhere.
I'll go check it out.
Gross.
Okay, are you trying to do so stealthily, or do you just walk out into the open like, hey, who's out there?
I kind of just walk out. Yeah, Rex just walks out.
Okay. So you step out, and someone jumps out from behind a processor. They jump out, and they point a gun at you, and they're like, ha! Hey! And they stop, and you recognize this guy, though he looks like a lot dirtier and like kind of in a shitty position compared to the last time you saw him. He's got a big like laser scar on his face. Actually, he's probably got his whole head bandaged from the scar. He's wearing a long like leather jacket, but it's all like covered in filth now. His boots and pants are like really dirty. He's wearing one glove. And yeah, you stare into the face of Captain Slipknot, who jumps out ready to ambush, and he's like, wait a second, you're not. And then he points a gun at you. He's like, wait a second. Do I know you?
And
He's just like awkwardly pointing this gun at you.
I feel like we've met before. I'm not entirely sure though.
I'm the one that I remind him that we're the ones that shot him and fought him. And
Well, so you're still
Wait,
behind.
have you followed me? I thought it was just me.
Quinn and Aurora, Quinn and Aurora, you're still around the corner. Dude has sprung the ambush, but he expected it not to be. He's like jumps out and he's like, wait, hey, I know you from somewhere.
I feel like we've met.
And he like sort of lowers the gun a little bit, and he's like, kind of like you could see him like struggling to figure out where he knows you from.
Are we so far back that we don't hear this conversation?
No, you can hear them talking for sure. It's
Rex is
echoing
doing
off,
the same thing. He's like trying to picture where he met this guy, but he can't remember.
Yeah, and he's like, did you? Were you in that crew on Gorlon 5, the bank job? That
No.
So you're just like
Space Jack in Sector 7B. Were you on that ship?
I turn
He
back.
puts his hands up and he's like, "Oh, I got the death sentence at 7B. I'd never go there. Shame. Beautiful girls
What
in
a
7B.
nightmare.
I
Listen,
turn back and as I'm listening, and I tap on him, like, don't you know this guy?
yeah." And so he's like, "Listen,
His voice.
this is embarrassing. I'm waiting here for someone. I got it on a good tip that. Have you seen a lizard man around here anywhere?"
Yeah, I think I saw one. If you go out here and you take a right, he was up there.
Yeah, and he nods and he's like, he's like, I've been lost in here for hours. My sense of direction's not great. This is why we have navigators, right?
Yeah,
Listen.
yeah, for real.
You see a lizard man around here anywhere, you tell him Captain Slipknot's gunning for him.
I'll tell him, if I see a lizard man, I'll tell him Captain Slipknot's gunning for him. I'm fairly certain.
Your volume goes up
I
20%.
And I'm like,
I'm fairly certain I saw one through that doorway to the right. Not the left, the right.
Yeah, he nods and he jams his laser pistol into the front of his pants and kind of hikes him up, and he looks at you and he's like, I swear when I find that guy. And yeah, and he turns to leave and he stops and he looks back at you and he's like, thanks, man.
Oh.
No worries. Happy hunting.
Yeah, and he storms off down the way. Nice job.
how cute.
Okay, yeah. So he Captain Slipknot continues looking for his missing jacker hacker.
It strikes again.
Quinn comes around the corner and is like, I spent 5 years following that man. And just like trudges through the muck and is just like mind blown that guy is such an idiot.
He's just desperate. He just really wants to get his jacker hacker back.
And I walk up to Rex. I'm like, you really didn't recognize him? I just like keep walking, looking at my radar.
Poor innocent Aurora.
Did Sam freeze?
Oh, yeah, looks like
He's just giving us blue steel. That's okay. That's okay. This is a perfect time for a break. You're like, you really didn't recognize him? All right. And then you all continue off in the tunnels. So let's take our break here, and we'll come back and we can do some spying on Thuja Mayhem.